now. Today, unfortunately, wasn't a very good day as far as the Indian space program was concerned. Let's take a look at this story on the launch of a new rocket. It was the Maiden launch, but unfortunately, at the last stage, things went wrong and the two satellites on board have been lost.
0.
This was meant to be the start of a new series of missions for ISRO on board a brand new rocket, the SSLV, or small-scale launch vehicle. The blast-off from Sriharikota seemed perfect, but minutes later it was clear that something was wrong. Worried scientists peered into their consoles. Data of the rocket's flight parameters showed this: a key system called the velocity trimming module, which helps insert the satellites into the correct orbit, had fired for just 0.1 seconds before shutting down. And about 8 minutes into the flight, this wobble was seen on the flight parameters board. While the satellites were released, and we could see this from video sent back, the news was not good.
We had in the terminal phase of the mission some data loss is occurring, and we are analyzing the data, and we will come back on the status of the satellites and as well as the vehicle performance soon. So until then, please bear with us.
A few hours later, ISRO tweeted out an official explanation. The SSLV rocket had placed the satellites into the wrong elliptical orbit, but they've identified the root of the error.
Subsequently noticed an anomaly in the placement of the satellites in the orbit. The satellites were placed in an elliptical orbit in place of a circular orbit. So when you place satellites in such an orbit, the orbit will not stay for a long time. Due to atmospheric drag, the satellites will come down, and the satellites have already come down from that orbit and they are no longer usable.
On board the SSLV were two satellites, an Earth observation satellite and a second satellite called the Azadi Sat, made by 750 girl students at 75 rural government schools. The 8-kilogram satellite was meant to celebrate India's 75th anniversary of independence. ISRO was out with its explanation of what went wrong within hours of the launch, and they say that they'll have another SSLV rocket out soon. Now this is crucial as ISRO aims to launch missions using this relatively low-cost rocket to place satellites in low Earth orbit, a big market opportunity. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.